Hi, I'm Cathy Williamson, and I'm your host today with Issues and Insights. And I am the director of the RSVP program, which is the Retired Senior Volunteer Program with Community Action. And today my host is Hal Good. He's our new executive director. Thank you so much, Hal, for taking time to come and visit with us.
Delighted to be here, and I want to thank you for arranging this and putting it together. And we definitely want to thank the folks right here at HCEC-TV for hosting us here today.
Yeah, I know. One of the things when I became associated with Community Action a couple of years ago is that, you know, we've seen the signs, we've seen the information, we know that there is a community action, but a lot of folks don't understand what community action brings to the community. So I wanted you to take a few moments, and we want to talk about some of the programs that kind of go under the community action umbrella, and then we'll kind of end up with the one that I'm now involved in and pretty excited about it. But so let's kind of get started. Under Central Kentucky Community Action, what areas of the state of Kentucky do you cover?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. And again, Cathy and I do work together, and you're going to find out later in this interview just how important the RSVP program is, and a lot of these acronyms that we're kicking around today, what they stand for.
That's right.
I think the general purpose of community action is very important to put out there because, you know, we are out there to be an advocate on behalf of those who are poor, those who are dealing with poverty. But we do it in a way where we are able to modernize public and private resources. We're doing it in a way to be able to promote self-sufficiency and be able to reach out to these individuals, these families, these communities. We do it in many different ways through our community action. My background's in economic development. I was the president and CEO for the Kentucky Association for Economic Development for about 6 years. We want to be able to implement that job creation. We want to be able to implement that. How can we make it an easy transition for someone to get a GED if they don't have that, which is the minimum? How do we make it an easy transition for someone who doesn't have the funding that's necessary to be able to get to work? Maybe have to have gas, maybe have to have repair to their car. Those are the things that we want to be able to implement as we do that. So we're not there to give a handout. We're there to give a hand up in every program that we do at Community Action. And I think you'll find out that also we reach out really strong to our seniors. We'll talk more about Cathy's program in just a moment, but our senior citizens, what they've been able to do and how we're able to reach out to them. And then also our youth through our Head Start programs, and we're excited about building a new Head Start here in Radcliffe. That kind of gives you an idea of some of the programs, and we didn't even really get into a whole lot of the transportation, what we'll get into in just a moment. But Community Action covers 8 counties. We cover the Lincoln Trail area with a variety of programs. We'll talk to Cathy about RSVP. Her program will cover Hardin and Nelson. But we do cover in some way, in some fashion, a program in each of the counties. So that's Nelson, Marion, and Washington, LaRue, Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Breck. That's the area.
The area.
Yeah, and I think, and then another important thing, Cathy, is how many other community actions are there out there? There's 23 all around the state. So we're the one, and we're in central Kentucky, and I think with Elizabethtown with the greatest population, over 100,000, you can still see that we cover more of a rural area, and that's what we normally like to consider Central Kentucky Community Action. We cover more of a rural type of area within in the center of the state of Kentucky.
And let's just go over some of the programs, and let's start at Head Start, because you've mentioned the kids. So we've got some exciting news about Head Start in Radcliffe. So kind of talk about Head Start and what the programs are, and then the new facility even in Radcliffe.
Very excited about our Head Start program. Now, our Head Start program covers 6 of the 8 counties within the Lincoln Trail area. So Marion, Nelson, and Washington, of course here in Hardin County, in Meade County, and in LaRue. We have a great relationship with our folks at the Head Start. They're in Grayson and Breck, which is important. You'll hear me talk about relationships and being able to work regionally. So we're going to work together with other groups and other Head Starts. Pam Smith's our director for our Head Start there, but excited about our locations that we do have already here in Hardin County, but very excited about this new location we're building in Radcliffe, very close to North Hardin High School. We've met with some of the folks in the leadership in that Radcliffe area. We do see the need for that Head Start up there. I'm a real numbers person, so I've been able to bring some numbers to our interview today. 542 children have been enrolled in Head Start and early Head Start education education programs within our 6 counties this past year.
Just in the last 12 months.
Just under 600,
Yes.
and that's new this past year. So we're reaching out more and more to these Head Start students. As we reach out to these young people, what are we doing? We've implemented more of a soft skills training type of class. So we're doing all the basics. We're making sure we give them that structure that's needed within that Head Start, but we're also reaching out to make sure that as they come in, if they're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, their mom and dad brings them in there at 8:15. We work with them and say, now, you're supposed to be ready to go at 8 o'clock. So that means you need to be here at 10 till or 5 till 8, similar to what we see in a manufacturing facility.
I was just smiling because once you learn those skills, those are skills that you will use your entire life.
Absolutely. Or how about eye contact or just shaking somebody's hand is so important. Those are the little things that we want to start implementing within our Head Start and within some of our, these could be sometimes in some situations 3rd and 4th generation of folks that are dealing with poverty. They're looking for a way to get out. Nobody wants to be in poverty. How do we give them that helping hand? How do we give them that direction to get out of poverty? We think leading toward that soft skills piece is another way that can help towards that economic development piece that we've talked about so much for that job creation and to put someone within a situation where they can be self-sufficient.
Yeah, and folks that might not understand what soft skills is, it's just having those, being able to put your hand out to shake. Eye contact, those examples that you just gave, those things can open doors.
Talk to any human resource officer or anywhere in any manufacturer or any business within Elizabethtown and Hardin County, and they'll tell you how important soft skills are. A lot of times they'll say, well, I just want someone to show up. I want someone to make sure that if we have any type of testing that has to occur, whether it be drug testing or anything from that standpoint, that they're able to pass that within our corporate operation. Those are the important pieces that come along.
And those are the barriers to success. Because if you're not able to do those things, if you don't show up on time, maybe you have an opportunity, but those are the sorts of things that will cause barriers and cause you to lose that opportunity and have to go look for another opportunity, when it could have been something that you just could have been more aware of and made more of an effort and moved forward with.
Which makes it so much more important. We talked about 542 students here. What if we reached half of those students? What if 30% of those students were able to pick up some of these soft skills traits that we were talking about? It makes a difference, and we know it makes a difference, and we have to just one step at a time.
Okay, so the next program kind of makes a logical thing is Kentucky Works, because that's the next piece where folks don't know that Community Action has that program. So talk a little bit about Kentucky Works, because that's now you're up at the young families. Now you're at the folks that need that help with the GED and those sorts of things.
Yeah, if there's and again, I know the Hardin County Elizabethtown school systems do a wonderful job with those who either drop out or need that GED, but I think we all know that the basic is a GED, and that's what you definitely have to have, and that's just to be able to be entertained for a position that's out there. We do the GEDs and we pay for them. We take care of that through our Central Kentucky Community Action programs that we have. One's called CSBG, that's a program that's there to help not only through the GED, but let's say someone does get a job and they have to have a pair of steel-toed boots.
That's right.
And when we talk about that, that could be $250, $300. Well, it could be $3,000 to someone that's struggling with poverty. We can come in to help them get those boots, get them to work, and be able to at least get to a point to where they're able to start getting their check, getting that piece of being involved in the community and being involved in that job to help keep that going. And that's what Kentucky Works does. Kentucky Works can help put individuals that are in a situation, maybe you don't have your GED and you're working towards that, give you that job, that part-time position that can lead to a full-time position. We've seen many folks that are involved in Kentucky Works go on to very successful careers, some within our own operation. We have someone that's in our operation who 12 years ago came in through Kentucky Works. Now they're one of our number one, or probably number one or two, human resource directors and managers within our organization. But we've seen that through other organizations as well. The Bullitt County Sheriff's Department were able to bring someone in. They were able to train this individual as a deputy, and now they're a full-time deputy within their group. We do serve. You heard me mention Bullitt County. With our Kentucky Works program, we go outside the Lincoln Trail area. So we also do Oldham, we do Shelby, we do Spencer County. It's a really interesting program that we can get someone with boots on the ground, is what I like to say. Get them working, get them a chance to feel what that work atmosphere is and where they can work. And then the Kentucky Works program can help supplement that for the employer to be able to let them have a little skin in the game to give this person that opportunity, give them a chance to come in and possibly be able to fill that void within their workforce.
Okay. I guess, and the next piece I wanted to talk about is the winterization piece.
Sure.
Because you've managed to get a job, but now you've got excessive utility bills and those sorts of things. So your money's going out faster than it was coming in. And so talk a little bit about what Community Action has available that way to help with the homes to be more energy efficient.
That is going on right now, and that's such an important program. And a lot of folks will say, well, are you insulating homes for those who are dealing with poverty? Well, the answer is yes. But I think even a more important question that can be asked, are you insulating these homes to be more energy efficient? And that's a big yes as well, because it falls into play that homes need to be energy efficient. And that's where this program is really leading more and more to. Now, those in poverty, if they have to have insulation, if they have to have the window repair or repair within their furnace, yes, this falls into play on that. But also it does lean towards what we need to be looking at more and more. That's to be more conservative with our energy. So we work with all the groups that are out there. The local RECCs are very cooperative to work with us. We work also with KU and LG&E. We work with those groups that are out there within the gas companies, and I'll just mention Atmos, but there's many others that we work hand in hand with to make sure that that function of heating is there as well. It's a very easy process. Going to one of our offices, we do that in all 8 counties, where we go through the LIHEAP and then also through the weatherization piece. David Lindsay works that from our Grayson County office, but does a wonderful job with his team and his staff to be able to go in there and do that adequately, and also do it in a way that it functions well for families that are in need. And Cathy, you hear some of these stories because we've talked about them, but we're reaching out to individuals that come into our office and will say, I came in and I need this extra help to keep my house insulated. I had saved up a lot of money to be able to insulate my home, but I had to spend it. Well, naturally, I was talking to someone about that. I said, well, what'd you spend it on? And this lady said, well, I had to spend it on attorney fees. My son's in jail, and his 3 children were going to foster care, so I adopted those kids, and I had to spend every penny on attorney fees. Those are the type of situations that we're hearing that we're trying to help on that. This is someone that's trying to put themselves in a position to come out of poverty. If we can interject to come in and help insulate, these are the situations that we hope that they can build themselves up, pick themselves up, get out of that situation of poverty. And again, as I said earlier, we're there to stand by them when they first come in the door, but we want to see them successful. We want to be able to see them come and be in a situation to where we continue to stand by them and give them that type of support, similar to this lady I was telling a little bit about, that just use those funds for, as far as I'm concerned, a very honorable thing to do, to be able to raise her grandkids.
Well, it's the times. It's the difference in where we
Sure
are
is.
Today, maybe where we were 40, 50 years ago. And so, again, helping her be able to do that, getting her grandchildren, having her grandchildren know that they have a secure place, that they have a safe place, and they may even be young enough to be in our Head Start program, or they may have benefited from our program. So it's kind of like some of these programs just kind of all get tied together, and it's kind of a complete circle of programs that are available, just kind of for the asking.
Yeah.
The thing is, again, like I started this off, is that there's a lot of programs that are available, but maybe our community doesn't know that they're out there. And
a great segue into our CSPG program, where we give commodities, and we'll talk about some of the seniors that go along with that. But I had went out to one of our distribution points, and this is where we're able to work with groups like Feed America and other groups, where we take food and we're able to provide that to different individuals. And we've had record numbers turn out this year, especially this fall, for the food. But being here 8 months, and I'm relatively new here with the Community Action, I like to ask a lot of questions, but also like to visit with some of our clients that are there. So I go out to one of our locations in Marion County, and I'm just walking down the line talking to some of the folks there, and I see an elderly couple with 3 kids in the back seat, and they say, yeah, we're here, these commodity boxes, which provide not only the cheese that's always talked about, but but like cereals and a soup and those necessities to get them through the week. There was another situation where you had grandparents that were raising their grandkids because their son or their daughter had been put in a given situation to where they had no choice but to do it, but were very much out front saying, I don't know what I would do without this. I don't know, this really helps us so much to keep us going. I don't want to get this forever. I want to try and just get through this. These are honorable people that are just really trying to put themselves in a better position. So that makes it rewarding for us to be able to do things just like we were talking about numbers for children. Last year alone, 1,000 children received nutritious meals and snacks. That kind of goes through our Head Start, but it also goes right through the program I just mentioned through our CSBG. Getting that nutritionist food, that food with that nutrition out into the public is very important.
And Feeding America, the Heartland, they do the backpack program. So that's food that's being packaged and sent home to the children, because I've been involved in that program, and we know that the children have meals during the week, but over the weekend from that Friday till Monday, there's a lot of times there's not food in the home.
No question.
So the backpack program is an opportunity to send non-perishables home with the children so that they have something until Monday.
Well, and we do the backpack program as well. The school systems do. There's not enough of us that could do it.
Yes.
Because you just
the
talk to an
need is
educator.
that great.
Talk to an educator that's there. They will tell you the facts that there are children that are going home that are hungry till that Monday.
Yes.
And that backpack program with something as simple as peanut butter and crackers.
That's what it started out at.
It sure did.
It sure did.
I think it's just a wonderful program, and it's great. We're talking about relationships that Community Action will have, like Feed America. It's great that we have that type of relationship with them, to be able to work with them and make sure that nutritious food is available to those that are in need of it.
Okay, so let's talk about food. Let's talk about like Griffin Manor, our senior centers, and the center in Radcliffe that puts out the food. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we have a program where we work with our seniors, and the Congregate Meal Program is what's officially called, but it's as simple as what Cathy just mentioned about being able to provide those meals to our seniors within the area. We do it here, as she mentioned, at Griffin, here in Hardin County, but we also do it in every county that we serve, and we're really excited about how we do that. This past year alone, 44,014 meals were served to 621 seniors in the Lincoln Trail area. That's a number we want to see increase. We work with a dietitian to be able to come up with a meal every day that our seniors can gather together and be able to come in and have one nutritious meal per day. 5 days a week, and we work through that. And I think that's such an important piece, because you think about some of our seniors that maybe don't have that opportunity to cook, maybe just don't like to go out and shop, maybe are waiting for a son or a daughter to do something for them on this. This gives them that opportunity to go, and for a small fee, we do ask for $2, but it's not mandatory. We don't sit there and make sure that they pay it on the way out the door, but we do make sure that they have that nutritious meal that's there available for them. A very gratifying program, and I encourage anybody that's watching this, if you want to have some gratification, go to one of our senior citizen centers and have lunch with them. I've been able to do that several times. I've been there. The lunches, they're nutritious.
Absolutely
they're
delicious.
Very good. Have you had some?
Delicious, absolutely.
They're very good, because I know you've been up to around the Nelson County one as well. It's wonderful to be able to have that camaraderie. We do programs with them like bingo size.
I was just going to say, how you feed your body, but you also feed. This is also an opportunity to feed your soul some.
It is,
because I was there just this week. I visited with the Nelson County Senior Center and had some lunch. But then they pulled out the bingo cards, and they started cutting up about who was going to win in bingo, and so even though the folks had eaten, they stayed, and that camaraderie and that friendship and a little bit of competition even going on, But that's another piece that. Bringing them to the center for the food gets them there, but then that other piece is what keeps them there.
And that program, we work really close with the Lincoln Trail Area Development District group. There's a group of people there that we work with day by day to make sure that this program can continue. As many programs that are under attack, Whenever you start talking about programs for seniors or for our young youth, like the Head Start programs, I'm so glad that we can stand by Lincoln Trail Area Development District to be able to say these are programs that need to continue. We need to make sure that we're able to take care of our seniors, and we need to be able to prepare our children. Those are so important, and those programs are. But our senior programs are I know, just wonderful. And even back to you, let me go on and ask your question.
Well, okay, but first, there's one more, the Senior Companion Program.
That's correct.
The ones that can't come to the center. Talk a little bit about the Senior Companion Program, because they actually go into their homes.
Yeah, they go into their homes, and I think, you know, the interesting thing I have found out by talking to our seniors, that we have so many seniors that are actually just looking for a little something else to do. They would be able to like to contribute. But, you know, being able to find that type of structure sometimes is very difficult to be able to do. So get ready. I'm going to segue into RSVP.
Okay,
You're next.
Right. I'm ready.
Next.
I'm ready. But I didn't want to miss
But
that
on the
one.
Senior Companion Program, 45,951 volunteer hours. That's how many hours this past year were dedicated in our area for that Senior Companion Program. For someone to go in and sit down, maybe to visit with one of the seniors. For someone to go down, maybe say, help with their laundry, just to be able to see if there's a need. Make sure that their medicine is being met. Make sure their dietary needs are being met. Those are so important. And I think that Senior Companion Program, Cathy, really does work well with our RSVP. And I think with your RSVP program, a lot of the folks within Hardin and also Nelson County, they have so many great opportunities to work with people in the community.
Right. Okay. We can talk about RSVP.
I'd like to hear more about it. Tell the folks a little bit about, you know, your program, because I get excited about it.
Well, the RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteer Program. I tell the folks when they ask me, what are you doing now? I get to place folks 55 and older in nonprofits. And what we know happens is seniors, as they stay involved in the community, it keeps them engaged, it lets them have an opportunity to give back, and especially in Hardin County, because we have a lot of military retirees. You know, I was just talking to the folks outside, and we were talking about, because someone at the facility here has just retired, this is her last day. And so when you came out of high school, you know, you were told, you go these years, you do this work, at the end there's going to be the end. It's going to be the retirement day. And if you go and you work and you do what you're supposed to do, hopefully there'll be some money there, but there'll also be an opportunity for you to step back and do something that you enjoy. And what we find is a lot of times the folks that retire, it sounds real good at first, but then after a while, they're wanting to give back to their community. And so what RSVP does is talks to folks that have a heart or have the interest in going and making a difference in the community. And I have several what we call stations here, and I try to fit the volunteer to the station. And so with RSVP, we're helping these nonprofits do their day-to-day operations, because there's no pay involved, and a lot of these nonprofits couldn't afford to hire someone. So again, I have stations in Hardin County, and I wanted to kind of list them, because if you're looking again at the show and you're thinking, I'd like to go volunteer, but I don't know where. You know, these are some of the opportunities that we have today. And next week we could have different ones. But I'll start off with the Hardin Memorial Hospital. They're auxiliary. So I have about a little over 30 volunteers there that do everything from the help desk, the directions, to delivering flowers, to working up in the rehab center. And they've been an RSVP station for years, and we really appreciate all of their support. Also, the hospice thrift store. We have volunteers there that are in the back doing the sorting. As donations are brought into the thrift store, my RSVP volunteers are back there making sure the buttons are on and sorting them out. Another one I have is Feeding America the Heartland. We talked about that. We've got volunteers that help put those backpacks together. They also help manage that line that comes in for commodities days when the senior boxes are being put out. So that's another opportunity. Helping Hand of Hope is one of my stations, and they have a food pantry. So folks can come in, get some help with Helping Hand of Hope, and then go back to the food pantry. So I've got volunteers. I probably have 8 or 10 volunteers at Helping Hand of Hope. Mission Hope for Kids. Now, another one of the things we talked a few minutes ago about was, you know, here's an opportunity to go spend time with kids after school. The Mission Hope for Kids is a mentoring program, a help with the homework. And so as teachers retire, if they want to be able to have interactions with kids and they want to be able to help our next generation, they could go and volunteer with Mission Hope for Kids and work with the kids there at that location. The Hardin County Chamber of Commerce is one of my stations. We have a volunteer that goes and just kind of helps the Chamber of Commerce keep going. And then most recently, I've had some opportunity with Red Cross. The Red Cross on Fort Knox is a station for RSVP, and how you might not think about it, but there's a food bank on Fort Knox for our soldiers. Our soldiers don't have food for their families. There's also something called Candy Cane Lane where donations are given for toys, because it gets to be Christmas time and our soldiers don't have toys for their children, and they can go and get those toys that are donated. And then the most recent one is the Carl Brashear Radcliffe Veterans Center. And what we have there is an opportunity to go and visit with these veterans. What we're finding is these veterans are coming into the center there, and their families away. And so I have volunteers that will go out and just sit and read to the veterans. They'll play cards, they'll play games, they'll go over during lunchtime and go and sit down and have a meal with them and visit and reminisce and just, that camaraderie, just talk about, their day and that sort of thing. And so that's a real one for my heart, with my husband being military. But again, that's the opportunity that we have, and it's the companionship piece. Now, there's one more program that is in place at the Veterans Center, and it's called No Veteran Dies Alone. And what that is a Red Cross program, and we've actually had folks trained that have gone through that, because just like the families don't have time to come or are away and they only get there on Saturdays and Sundays, what we're finding is that the veterans sometimes in their last hours don't have family members. And so we have folks that have been trained and they're on a call list, and they will go, will sit and hold hands. So again, that's
awesome.
That's some of the opportunities through RSVP. And if you're thinking about volunteering and you want to give an hour, you want to give 3 days, whatever you have available, get in contact with me, because I'd love to talk to you about where your heart might be and what might be a good fit for you, and so that we can continue to help these nonprofits in Hardin, and I also cover Nelson County, but keep them going with the volunteer help that they need.
And that's so important here in Hardin County, and especially with the veterans and our military you're talking about. And you were able to hear Cathy talk about these different stations. So yeah, we would welcome you to not only volunteer, but we welcome to look at new stations that would be possible out there as well. And you do have some great stations and some great people that you're working with on that. That's wonderful.
Okay. Well, Hal, we're almost out of time. But we have gone through, I don't think we've missed a program.
One thing we'll talk about is our transportation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It highlights what's going on with TAC here. We do not do Hardin and Meade, but we do the rest of the Lincoln Trail area. Just last year, we provided over 100,000 trips for 1.8 million miles that we logged in. That's your neighbor going to dialysis. That's, being able to come in and take your neighbor to the doctor's office, maybe into the grocery from that standpoint. So quickly on our transportation, we're seeing it grow, Cathy. We're working into some economic development pieces. Right. We hope to pilot a program next year. We're seeing some companies have as much as 30% of their workforce have to have a way to work. We want to be able to carpool and work with Hardin County, maybe by carpooling out of Grayson or Breck. So we hope to be able to do that.
And that's some of the new things that you've brought to the table. And we really are excited about what's going to happen at Community Action. And so, again, I'm going to give a plug for RSVP and a plug for Community Action.
Sure.
And
One
thank
last
you
plug.
so much.
Community Action, you can go to our website, ckcac.org, or call us at 270-692-2136.
And they will put all these numbers up at the end.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
It's good to see you, Cathy.